G'day. So today I just want to do a quick video about a project that a mate and I did back in year 2002. We were both students at the time. Anyway, the project was a custom restore of an arcade cabinet. So I just keep it underneath this to try and keep some dust off it. So this is the cabinet. Bit of the story. We were in a 2D and 3D animation course together. We were both there on scholarship. It was a 12-month course. We had to build a demo computer game and work with the programming students, and to present it at the end of year careers night we decided we would showcase it via an arcade cabinet. So we had to decide if we were going to make one from scratch or try and find something like a shell and customise it, make it look nice. And anyway, that's what we ended up doing. The arcade cabinet shell was either $15 or $25 from a Lifeline here in Australia, so like a kind of like a junk shop, I suppose. Yeah, there was very few innard parts left in it. It wasn't like we could, fix it up and make it a working, authentic, single game arcade cabinet anymore. So anyway, we stripped out the last of the parts that were in it, and the plan, what we had in mind, was to put a old 17-inch computer monitor in it, hook it up to a PC computer running, I think it was Windows XP, and get a controller adapter so that we could control it via an old school PlayStation 1 arcade joystick controller system that a friend of ours donated. They didn't want it anymore. So I can show you some of the features or what we did. First thing I can show you is over here. So this is the joystick, the PlayStation 1 controller. You'll notice it's pretty dusty. I've just had it sitting around. I masked it up a while ago to respray it. This after the careers night back in 2002, this used to be in one of our share houses, and it used to get a lot of game time. A lot of people would play it often, and sort of got a little bit used through that period. So a lot of the clear coat that I had on top of here got smudged off, and it had dirty fingerprints and stuff on it, smudge marks or whatever, grease for my fingers. So I sanded it back lightly, got the top coat off it earlier, or months and months ago, and masked it up to repaint. I just haven't repainted it yet. I'll get onto that. You can see the PlayStation 1 controller itself is here. We had to cut down about 1 centimetre off this, just to reduce its overall height. I built I don't know what you call this, a deck, I don't know. So I just made this, fabricated it out of, in Australia we call the timber WeatherTex. It's not a type of wood. It's a, I don't know. Anyway, it's called WeatherTex. It used to get used in signwriting a lot. I spent 12 months as a junior signwriter a couple of years before this, and my mate, he'd done a degree in industrial design prior to us being in this course and meeting through the course. I'd done some other subjects and some TAFE construction-y subjects years ago as well. So between us we were a good match to sort of do this project. So we figured out a way to mount the PlayStation 1 controller just with screws onto the deck that I made. The deck was 2 pieces of WeatherTex glued together with a centerpiece. So I'd have a gap here that I could later on put some think it's nylon, T-shaped grooving, edging into and stick it. So it had a nice black, edge to it, which I've taken off to do the repaint. Underneath here you can see how I cut out to make room for the electronics of the board, and you can see down here I've just masked up the cord at the moment, ready for the repaint. So it would ordinarily, when it's assembled, obviously the cord gets tucked inside, and the board just sits there nicely with a couple of screws, and we mounted it in such a way that you could still easily pull down the hinged front piece to get the insides from the front without having to take the top plate off that I'd previously spoken about this thing here. We took these off, wanted to make it look nice, kept the original, we resprayed these and clear coated them and put this original thing back on it because it looked cool. Obviously there's no mechanics behind it. So that's just there for aesthetic. Kick plate, we redid that. We cut this into it and put some mesh on the inside of it, painted it obviously, and had another additional computer subwoofer, I think, bass or whatever, inside there, like computer speakers. The light box area, we'll go to the light box next. The light box was a bit of Perspex that I had like offcut, just an offcut piece I had floating around. We designed our logo, we designed that for our mock-up or mock business that this game demo was made by or whatever. So we got a mate to cut the yellow vinyl, and then we stuck it onto the Perspex piece. The light box, there was no actual light bulb or whatever inside this thing. When we purchased it, it was just an empty shell. So we had an old desk lamp floating around, like a really old school one, so we cut the ends off it to fit within the space, and just installed it in there with a couple of screws, timber screws, and then we mounted the desk lamp part of it onto the back, and painted its covering black. I've taken the top plate off, but I'll put that back on soon. Anyway, so that solved that. See, it lit up, nice, still works. We kept the original speaker in there as well. That was in it when we purchased it. It's got a really nice original, like tinny sound to it, like arcade cabinet, arcade tinny, audio sound, which we really liked. And we had that plugged in obviously to the PC as well. So in addition to playing the game that we built the demo of, we had this thing rigged up so you could play any platform game or whatever game, platform game with simple controls that you had installed off your PC, including like emulated games. So we had a whole variety of games you could play off this thing. It was good. One day I'll get it set up and operating again. The paint, we wanted to paint it maroon, which matched the corporate colours of the mock business that we had. We had a website for it and stuff as well at the time. So anyway, it was veneer originally, timber veneer, and we just used a roller and rolled on undercoat, enamel undercoat, plenty of coats, and then we sanded it, just get it nice and smooth, get rid of the timber veneer texture, and then we just rolled coats of enamel maroon on top, or one at a time, and sanded them back, come up nice and smooth. You can see it's oxidized because this was done ages ago, a long time ago. I'll repaint it at some point. Probably put the same colour over it. Redid these, just hit them, repainted them. Same with the edging here. Just repainted that. You can see the vinyl T-shaped grooving. So we ended up actually replacing the original because it was all banged up, and saw somewhere in Brisbane, Australia, to get replacement T-shaped grooving, and yeah, come up nice. Around the back, so as I say, it's got no actual original electronics in it. We made this curtain just to keep the dust out, sort of ish. So you can see it's got the original. It's got the computer monitor in here. We weren't sure even if you could run if a monitor would run sitting on its base like that, pointing upward. But we did some tests and found out it would. We knew it would run for a little while, but we didn't know if it would continue, but it actually does, so it's good. We made a shelf, and that was easy to do. It's probably a bit dark in there, but you just make some strips of timber and just mount it to the inside walls, and then you just put your shelf on top. It's easy. This is the converter. We purchased it online. So it converted the PlayStation 1 controller to USB to plug into the computer. So that's behind the scenes. If we swing around to the front again, so just to make it look nice, so it presented well. Another mate who was a glazier cut us some glass and donated that. We got some black cheap vinyl and just cut a square and stuck it to the inside of the glass, and did it in such a way that it was sort of a bit harder to see that it's actually just a computer monitor sitting underneath. We also, we stuck black duct tape, or whatever you want to call it, to the frame, I suppose, if that's what you want to call it, of the old school monitor, just so again you couldn't really see too much of the off-white colour of the monitor itself. You could sort of see it there when I point it at an extreme angle, but looking face down, you don't really see it. That's just a reflection of the black, but light hitting it, sorry. So that's about it. It's a fun project. It was fun to play. As I say, I'll get it working again, and it's something I'll keep for a long time, and do a quick fix up of it, refurbish it, make it look pretty again. Anyway, if you like this, please feel free to do the usual, like, subscribe, post comments. It's a pretty easy project. We put about 10 weeks into it, and we're only working on it in the afternoons, like after 5 p.m. for an hour or two, and then a bit on the weekends here and there. We were in a full-time course, and we were working long hours through the day, contact hours. We all had casual jobs as well, so we just sort of fitted this in around other work, other commitments. It was pretty, it wasn't hard, didn't take much planning or anything like that. Anyway, it's up.